Hey everybody, welcome back to the Seed to Table project. So today is a really exciting day. Today is the culmination of a lot of hard work, but basically we're going to take that maple sap that we've been collecting, that we've boiled on the evaporator, and we're going to turn it into maple syrup. And that process is called finishing off the syrup. Now, you can do that outside on the evaporator. However, I'm not real comfortable with that. We're going to do that inside where I can control the variables. But essentially, we're going to get this maple sap to 219 degrees. We're then going to test it with a hydrometer to check its sugar content. And I'm going to show you that process as well. And at that point, once it's reached the consistency of maple syrup, we're going to run it through a vacuum filter press. And then we're going to bottle it up. Once we bottled it up, we're all ready to go. Remember, this is all part of season one Pancake Breakfast. This is the maple syrup, just the maple syrup ingredient in our Pancake Breakfast. So you can see the hard work that goes into just your everyday items. All right, I want to talk about a couple of the items that you need in order to finish off the maple syrup. Okay. The first thing that you need is you need a hydrometer. Now, a hydrometer is basically a specialty tool that is going to tell us the density of the sugar inside the sap. Okay. And until it reaches that specific density, it's still sap and not maple syrup. Right. So the next thing you need is a hydrometer cup. And what we'll do is we'll put the maple sap into there. And then we will gently put in the hydrometer, and there's little lines on it. It's tough to see right here, but these little lines tell you when it's syrup. So basically at 211 degrees, if it floats at that line, it is maple syrup, okay? And if it's cold at 60 degrees temperature, which is more like a room temperature, then it's got to float at that line. Of course, you need clean jars with caps. You need a very large stock pot, okay, along with a candy thermometer. And then we'll go to the last process. We're going to filter it, okay? Now, this is my vacuum filter. My lovely wife bought this for me a couple Christmases ago, and it is fantastic. Before I got this, I used to use like a cone filter, which is fine, but it's a very long process. You also mix in some diatomaceous earth, DE, that gets mixed into the hot sap when it's ready, okay? And that acts as a filter aid. A vacuum, because you need a shop vac. Now don't skimp out on the power of the vac. This vac right here is a 5.5 horsepower. I tried it with a 2.5 horsepower and it was not enough power, okay? Get a powerful shop vac specifically for maple syrup. Just, you don't want any dust or anything getting in your hard work. All right, everybody, we are at that critical moment here. I know I kept saying 219 degrees is maple sap, but it's actually 219.2. And we are currently, well, to be honest with you, I can't see, but we were at 219 degrees. If you can see inside there, the tighter the bubbles, the more it starts to foam up and everything. So we are at a good temperature at which to test the maple syrup using the hydrometer. In order to test the maple syrup with the hydrometer, I'm going to remove it from the heat, but not turn the heat off because we don't know if we have to put it back in. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my hydrometer cup. I'm going to take some maple syrup. And we're going to fill that cup. Almost to the top. Not to the top, but just about that much. Okay, now we're going to put our hydrometer in it. Now, listen, do not drop this into the maple syrup. You want to gently Put it in there, give it a little spin. And ladies and gentlemen, we have maple syrup. All right, so this is the hydrometer. See the line right there? And as long as that red line is above the level of the sap, which it is, we are at sap level. So it is currently maple syrup. All right, so now things are moving really fast. We're gonna take out our thermometer because we don't need that anymore. That was just to get it to the 219 degrees. We'll clean that and everything else later. We're gonna gently take out our hydrometer out of the maple sap in the hydrometer cup. We're gonna pour that syrup back in. And then we're going to add our diatomaceous earth, okay? This stuff really has the consistency of corn starch, okay? This is just as a filtering agent for the sap. And now we're gonna mix it in real well. What this is gonna do is it's going to add as an extra layer of filtering when we vacuum filter it. Now we got to set up the filter quickly because we can't let this cool down too much. The longer we let it cool, the harder it's going to be to filter it. All right, everybody, we've got the maple vacuum filter here on the floor. Don't try to lift the pot up over your head and pour it into the filter press with it up on the counter. You're going to spill it. You're going to hurt yourself. This is scalding hot. It's beyond hot, actually. It's beyond boiling. It's 7 degrees above boiling. But make sure your valves are closed. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a glove from a wood stove that's heat resistant, obviously. And we are going to put some of this in there. Can already hear it filtering through. Now it's about to get a little loud. All right, so we ran into a little bit of a snafu. It wasn't filtering as fast as it should, so there's a couple possibilities. Number one, there's too much sugar, sand, or niter in there mixed with the diatomaceous earth. It can't pull it through. So what I did was I used a ladle, scooped all of it off the top, put it back in the pot. I'm gonna jar what I have, and then I'm going to go back, change the pre-filter, okay, put a new pre-filter in there and do the process over again, okay? But first we have to get the internal temperature of the sap up to 180 degrees. As you can see, yes, the dial is upside down, I do know that, but we have to get to that 180 mark right there. And right now we're sitting at about 167-ish, okay? So we're going to, basically I have it on the burner. We're going to turn the burner on low, and we're going to wait for that to come up to the 180 degree temperature. All right, so here we go. We're actually going to bottle the maple syrup. Now be careful, even if if your jar fits in the nozzle, it's going to create a vacuum and it's not going to filter, it's not going to bottle properly. So you do have to be careful. Open it slowly. Get a nice, steady make sure your vacuum valve is open. Now on these bottles, don't pull it away right away. All right, put the cap on it. Tight, turn it upside down. For the count of 5, to make sure the cap is sterilized. Now when I fill these bottles, I try to go right to the top of that little handle. And that's basically how you filter them, or how you can them rather. All right, everybody. So that was a pretty good haul. I feel like it could have been better if we didn't have to change out the pre-filter a couple of times, just because taking it off the evaporator, if I had filtered it then, it would have taken out a lot of the niter and sugar sand that developed on the evaporator. And what that did is it ended up clogging up the vacuum pump, so it didn't work as efficiently as it could. But we did get about 20 12-ounce bottles, which is about 2 gallons, not quite 2 gallons, but 2 gallons of delicious maple syrup. I mean, how great is this going to look in our pancakes, season 1 pancake breakfast? If you like what you saw here, please give us a like and a follow, and we'll see you next time at the Seed to Table Project.